Hey guys, so today we're going to do some word problems, and I wanted to just remind you that when you are subtracting, you need to make sure when you need to ungroup. So I'm going to give you some examples here. I'm going to take you kind of through the old process, but I'm also going to show you a new strategy today that I think might be a little bit easier for you to navigate. So if you look at the first problem here, if we were subtracting 238 from 500, we could look and see that we have every column accounted for. So remember, we always start in the ones column. So we have a 0 on top and we have an 8 on the floor. So if you remember our chant, more on top or more on the floor, always ask yourself that. This happens to have more on the floor. So if we have more on the floor, go next door, get 10 more. However, if you go next door, there's nothing to get. We still have 0. So we have to go next door again. So we've got 5 in the hundreds column. We're going to borrow 1. If we have 5 and we're taking 1 away, that leaves us 4. We're going to plop it right here next to our 0. So if here's our 0, we're going to put our 10 right here. So we now have 10. We can go and ungroup again. We're going to ungroup 10 tens. If we have 10, we take 1 away. We now have 9 tens. And we're going to put our 10 right here in our ones column. I know we've done this before, but I just wanted to review with you. Now we can do our math. 10 minus 8 is equal to 2. 9 take away 3 is 6. 4 take away 2 is 2. So our difference is 262. Now I'm going to show you an easier way, and I know we've talked about this before as well. When you are subtracting and you have a whole number, so the number 5, and you have zeros after that number, so 5 and then nothing but 0, so 500. You can take 1 away from this number. So 1 less than 500 is equal to 499. If you take 1 away from the top, you also have to take 1 away from the bottom. So 1 less than 238 is 237. Let's subtract those numbers. Notice there's always going to be more on the top, so you don't have to do any kind of ungrouping at all. 9 take away 7 is 2. 9 take away 3, 6. 4 take away 2 is 2. Notice that you get the same answer both times. This is a strategy that you can use if you don't want to have to go through all the ungrouping, because it gets a little difficult and it's easy to make mistakes. This only works though if you have one number and then zeros after it. That's the only time this strategy will work. So let's look over here at 300 minus 147. If you want to use the new strategy, the subtract 1, what is 1 less than 300? 299. What is 1 less than 147? 146. Now you're just going to simply subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. 2 take away 1 is 1. If I went and did it the old way, I noticed that there's more on the floor, so I have to go next door. Nothing there to borrow. I'm going to go next door again. Taking 1 away, adding it here, this becomes a 10. We can now subtract. Take 1 away from the 10, which is 9, and put our 10 here. 10 take away 7 is 3. 9 take away 4 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. Notice it's the exact same answer. Again, this only works if you have a number with zeros after it. And you have to take 1 away from the top number and 1 away from the bottom number. Numbers can get even bigger, and the same thing is going to apply, the same strategy. So we've got our 1 here and all our zeros afterwards, so this will work. What is 1 less than 1,000? 999. 1 less than 424 is 423. Do the math. 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 2 is 7. And 9 minus 4 is 5. When you're working in the thousands, I would definitely suggest using this strategy, because having to ungroup 3 times, it gets a little bit tricky. So again, this only works if you have a whole number and and then all zeros after it. So like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and then 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. If your top number is one of those whole numbers, this strategy will work. So give it a shot today and see how it goes. And tomorrow you'll be doing some more review to the thousands, subtracting from the thousands. So give it a try.